Hello everyone, and welcome to your Aries New Moon wishes for April the 15th, 2018. The Aries New Moon sign readings, of course, are all about the equinox energy. So whether you're in the southern hemisphere and this is your harvest season, or this is the vernal equinox for you, the spring equinox in the northern hemisphere that is initiating your new year energy, what you're planting, what you're sowing at this particular time. It's a very auspicious moment. So I wanted to take a moment to let you know some of the things that Great Mother has been seeding in and through me to and for you. These new moon wishes, I am taking the time to actually write out suggested new moon wishes for you. If you're not familiar with working with new moon energies or how to work with them, it's basically really being clear about what your intentions are, writing them out, no more than 10, and you want to be sure that they're individual wishes. So for example, you want to go out and have more fun, and you want to make more friends, as an example. Those are two wishes, and they need to be separate. So I want to go out and have fun is one wish, and I want to make new friends is the second wish. Not sure exactly why it doesn't work when they're combined. It may have something to do with dictating how we want our blessings to come to us, which really does stagnate the manifestation process. The other thing that you want to keep in mind when you work with your new moon wishes is that they are just for you. We don't make wishes for other people. Again, imposing our will in that space of creation is an energy that we really want to avoid because it attracts that energy to us. So to maintain our autonomous divinity in a way that is pure, in a way that is clearly channeled, we want to keep that wish for us, for ourselves, those wishes just for us. We can introduce the process to others at any time. And you want to just write them down, not meditate on them, but do put them away so that you can later reflect on them as your lunar cycles progress. You can come back and reflect on what has manifested. You'll begin to be very astonished by how quickly things do come into manifestation working with your new moon wishes. And so you won't have to look back at it very often. What you will discover is that things that do not manifest will probably be because they were somehow combined, or they are very core issues that you're working with and working through. So those are just some hints. I'll give you some more kind of rules of the road in terms of working with that. As Jane Spiller says, I'm one of her students working with lunar energies, and so that will be on your link to the blog on greatmotherspeaks.info. Suggested new moon wishes for your moon sign. Speaking of the vlog, this new lunar year for Aries moon sign people, your video has already been posted, and so it talks about for each of you when your new moon comes each year, what Great Mother is coming through and saying will be some of your challenges and all of the energy that's available for you to actually feel the support of your divinity throughout the year. And so it's a very interesting look at how to plan for the year coming up. This is what you've probably heard me refer to as when the sun is in your moon sign. This happens once a year when the sun is traveling through your moon sign's constellation, and when the moon, it becomes new in that sign, is your Lunar New Year. Again, we all have our own houses, our own degrees of when our moon came in. You may not have been born during the new moon in Aries, obviously. You could be born in November, and your moon was a full moon. Well, if it was a full moon, it was in September, for example, because that is the Aries full moon. And so your Aries moon might actually be there. And so that's where the personal readings come into play. These are general readings about the general energies. So remember to book at greatmotherspeaks.info. And speaking of that, this month until the 30th, there is a sale on readings. All our readings, Great Mother Speaks readings, your moon sign readings that are normally $85, and the hour readings that are normally $65, Great Mother Speaks readings, they're all $50. So that is an encouragement to really get some information about this very auspicious season to help you kind of jumpstart the year for you in terms of planning this planting season. The moon is really, really important with regard to planting and harvesting. Want to be sure that you also know that the Mama Drama Trauma website is finally up. So mamadramatrauma.info is up and ready to go. I want to let you know about the support group. This is a group that is using the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck as a coaching tool to really support the general welfare of survivors of Mama Drama Trauma. In my coaching work, I have found that supplemental support throughout the week is very useful, and in joining a group in kind of the pilot experiments that I've had so far has really proved quite powerful. So it's very limited, small group, and so I think 5 is the maximum that we're just starting out with because we do really work through some of the principles and share ourselves anonymously through audio conferencing. So it's an opportunity for you at mamadramatrauma.info, which is the sister site to Great Mother Speaks.info, both of which are on the home site of themotherbond.com. So if you're just generally kind of rolled up on Great Mother Speaks and you're like, what the heck is going on? Check out themotherbond.com. It's just a general overview of what we're talking about in terms of maternal yin, Holy Spirit energy, and how it manifests as the good, bad, and divine mother in each and every one of us in each and every way. And to get a little bit more understanding about how to work with this energy and insight about just really how we experience that energy and why we experience it in the various ways that we do. Those are just really getting started up. But want to let you know about that. And last but not least, these new moon readings that you're watching are readings that are basically going to amplify, enhance, really refine and focus your understanding of what Great Mother's messages were throughout the second quarter readings. Now, we just had our second quarter readings posted for April to June. So the general 3-month period, we have 4 through the year. We did January to March, the first quarter, just overall what's going on during those lunar cycles. Now just posted are the second quarter readings that are all about what's happening up until June. Now we have a respite the second quarter from eclipses. We are still in Leo North Node, Aquarius South Node in the Western, and Cancer North Node or Rahu, and Ketu Capricorn in the Sidereal. But we are having some reprieve. No activity going on until the end of July, which will be the third quarter. So this reflection period is really important when I come in with these shorter messages, new moon, full moon messages, April, May, and June, to further refine your understanding and expand on what she was saying. However, if you have not watched those videos or you picked up something that you think that you want to go back and reflect on, again, the link is below to your second quarter readings. Well, I really, really do hope that you enjoy them. Remember, the second quarter readings do have a 25-minute introduction for people to understand what these readings are about, who Great Mother is speaking to, and how to use these readings to know the difference between your emotional voice and when Great Mother is speaking to you. So we took some time on those second quarter readings to do that. So if you've already listened to that, remember, fast forward to about 27 minutes at the beginning of your second quarter reading. So with no further ado, here from me to you are your April 15th Aries New Moon readings from Great Mother Speaks. Hello and welcome to your April New Moon Great Mother Speaks message. This is an intuitive emotional message about the energies that are supporting you now as you plan and plant your new lunar cycle. The new moon, of course, is the dark moon. That is the moon where Great Mother speaks most directly to us. Right before this period of the new moon is the balsamic download period. We're going to be looking at where your moon is this month. So this lunar month from April the 15th until May the 15th, the moon of Pisces is in its third quarter to balsamic moon phase. And so your particular moon coming out of your Lunar New Year, when your Pisces was the new moon last month, is now moving into that balsamic third quarter energy. And so that energy is where we begin looking at your emotional state. It's where we begin to see exactly what's happening with you on an intuitive level. So let's see what Great Mother is saying to you. The ego communicates to the soul through emotions. The soul communicates to the ego through the intuition. What you are intuitively downloading is that there is a need for you to establish your own self, your own identity, who you are, what you are about in the world. And that makes sense as this new moon in Aries is in your second house. So the Aries new moon, you were feeling at that time an intuitive need to actually identify yourself in the world in very clear ways, how you see yourself. Now it's the grounding of that identity, and there's a definite need to seed that. Because your energy is a balsamic third quarter moon energy, that means that you are really in a download period about what that is about for you in terms of really grounding your new identity in the world, or really upping the ante on who you know yourself to be. Speaking that to others, perhaps even establishing long-needed boundaries or maintaining boundaries that have been difficult for you to do over the last month or so. So that's really kind of where you are right now in terms of your intuitive downloads. We see that that's a full moon card that has to do with that full realization for you intuitively. Great Mother's coming through and she's confirming that's exactly right. If you have been intuiting that there's a need for you to assert your selfhood and to speak it, this new moon is a great time to start planning, to start really thinking about how you are going to work with this energy as you begin to plan your health needs, your professional or your working daily life needs, as well as your spiritual and financial needs, that physical manifestation of what your identity is, who you are today. Who you are today has a lot to do with ownership and asking others to assist you with amplifying that identity in the world. So that second house energy in terms of your values, perhaps associating with people who share the new values that you are asserting or upping the ante on. How you are emotionally approaching this is through the understanding that things truly are coming together for you. You know that this is a process that you've been on for a while. You know that this is something that you have been intuiting for a while. And emotionally, there's also a full moon energy that the soul is uploading from you in terms of your understanding that things are coming together, in terms of your insight, in terms of aligning with your soul unction. There's a real clarity for you right now, Pisces moon people. And Great Mother's coming through and she's saying, if you've been feeling that and you've been doubting that, don't. It is very clear. It is very succinct. It is exactly what's happening for you, because things have been very challenging emotionally and things haven't been very clear. You've been following a path and it's just now kind of coming to fruition for you in ways that you may not have expected, and you are on task, you are in line, and this transformative opportunity due to these changes are coming about because of the guidance that you have been following. This is the Jesus card. It is the yin card of the deck. It has to do with receiving. So you have been receiving, you've been trusting the wisdom and you have been following it. Therefore, you are also really moving into a very deep space of sharing your wisdom. And so maybe you yourself are acting as a guide to others. Maybe you yourself are acting as a guardian to others, as a mother yourself in some ways, as a father yourself in many ways, as a brother yourself in some ways. And so you are transforming this ego soul alignment that you're doing into a real appreciation and a real activation of your faith, and knowing that the law of soul guidance and guardianship is active for you in your life at this time. What Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook is that emotionally at this time, it could be difficult for you to maintain the integrity that you need to maintain the boundaries that you know on a soul level need to be maintained in order for this second house energy, where the moon is in right now for you, to really take root in the world during this new moon season. And so the integrity card is a balsamic moon card. Remember, that is where the moon has been or will be moving from, the lunar cycle that we've come out of into this new moon phase. That kind of balsamic third quarter moon energy is where the moon has really expressed when it came through the constellation of Pisces. And so on a lunar level, intuitively and emotionally, you're aligning with your truth, and Great Mother does not want you to overlook that process is very much necessary in order for you to bring that truth of who you are to fruition. Again, whether it's a new truth that you have cultivated or it has been cultivated and nurtured by you over a period of time, that the ante needs to be upped, that you have learned new things, that you're integrating new things into that truth, and now you're ready to bring that into the world. You're dancing with all of this, Pisces moon people, in the sense of surrender. That is where it is really coming through for you, by allowing yourself to just not only receive, but to rest along your path when you need to. You have decided to take action, to face challenges to your integrity, and to face challenges to your selfhood. And so by acting on those things, you have in a sense really activated an ability to surrender. That is what faith is. It's an ability to see your past in its proper place, and to take the blessings from that path moving forward, and to leave the rest alone. That has been a challenge for you, and Great Mother is coming through, and she's saying that because you have asked for help and you have asked for guidance, you've received it. Don't forget that. Continue to do exactly that, because you are in a definite process of self-creation. You are actually recreating yourself. You are recreating who and what you are about in the world. And so it is a very sacred process of regeneration. This regenerative process is something that you probably, as you connect with other people to amplify this new identity in the world, to manifest your new values, what you have learned, what you treasure the most in your life, and realigning yourself with those supportive structures and people and entities. There may be, because it's so new, a tendency to look at and to listen to the opinions of others more than yourself. Remember, you've gone through a process of learning already. You have really worked hard to establish and to maintain your personal truth and your integrity. That is your personal truth, telling yourself the truth. And you've been downloading through this balsamic third quarter phase a lot of information. You've already been sharing that information. And so even if it comes up against other people, not in a conflictual way, but in an internal, again, emotional way, that you feel that you need to compromise your integrity in some way, that you need to reevaluate whether or not you are truly guided, whether or not you are truly guarded and protected. Great Mother is saying no. You were in a recreative process. You are in a process of really asserting your wishes, your wants, and your desires, and to stay with that. It's brought you here. It will take you on, because what needs to be released is the fact that you have already gone through a purification. And so sometimes when we go through a healing process or we go through any other type of purification process that requires us to let go of the old and let something new in, there can be a resistance to that. And there can be a tendency to kind of, even if we clean out our houses, spring cleaning, for example, or cleaning out our offices or whatever the situation may be, there's a tendency to hold on to things that we know that we don't need, but we might need. Again, stay in touch with what you've already learned, because that is what's going to take you to where you're going, not the old stuff that is not serving you anymore. If you need anything, it will come up through your self-recreation process and through your ability to surrender and see things more creatively as you go forward. What used to serve a certain capacity or a certain need may not be what is going to suit you going forward. You may need a different tool, for example, whereas in the past you might have used a clipboard to take notes. You're learning how to use the notes in your iPhone. And that's what you use more than anything else, as an example. And so you know that you're going to need a clipboard because you use that every day, but there are going to be other things that come up for you in alignment with exactly what has already come up for you as full moon illumination, as that internal intuitive insight, and as what you have been expressing. Great Mother is saying, continue doing that, Pisces moon people. You are doing a fantastic job. What's going to facilitate the release of a tendency to hold on to things and to truly stand in your state of purification after all of this tremendous work you've been doing, Pisces moon people, is the facing of any fears that you have, again, about letting go of those things. Just in the simple example of the clipboard. What is the fear? Is it a sentimental clipboard that you've had since college and it has that little, college logo on it and that means so much to you? It could be something as small as that. It is often the small fears that really hang us up the most, isn't it? And so maybe instead of that, you might want to put a screensaver of your school logo on your brand new smartphone to, again, update what your needs and what your wishes are. Maybe once you face the fear, you realize, I can let this go now. I know I went to school there. I know, it just had memories, and I can hold those memories in my heart. It can truly be something as simple as that. And as always, connecting with Great Mother energy to give you the insights that you need right in the moment when there's a fear, no matter how big or how small. Asking the fear through your angels, guides, and ancestors, what is it you're trying to tell me? If it's a very large fear that's keeping you from maintaining your boundaries, you don't want to hurt someone, or you don't want to lose something that is a new value that you have. Maybe you've worked toward and you've been very integrous with your work, and you are being rewarded by the guidance and the protection of this new job, and you don't want to express your selfhood in a way with the integrity that would make you lose what you've earned, that you worked so hard for. In that situation, go inside with that fear, okay? Acknowledge it. This is first quarter moon card. It's taking action to actually make a decision to face a fear. That's third quarter energy. It's taking action. And so take action with that fear and go inside and say, okay, I know this lunar energy, this new moon energy is really helping me to plan and develop around my true wishes, my true desires, and grounding them in the world. How can I be grateful for what it is you're saying to me, fear, about losing my new position, about losing what are you trying to say to me? And maybe what that fear is trying to say to you is that you need to continue maintaining your boundary in a loving way. It is what got you to where you are. And so don't stop. You've been purified. Or it could be saying this fear is coming up because you don't trust yourself. And what is that about? Okay? So Great Mother is coming through and she's saying that she's available to you. Whenever we ask of fear, especially, what is its message? What is it trying to say to us? What is its message to us? It will come back and tell us. Many times it'll tell us things like, you don't want to be ashamed. You don't want to be embarrassed. You don't want to be left out. There's some fear of loss of some kind. And since this is about purification for you and releasing the need to continuously purify and just stand in the purification that you have, that heart chakra energy, that ego soul alignment that you know that you have now, and Great Mother's encouraging you to stand in that. Well, maybe it's time for you to reground yourself through your fears that may come up. And this root chakra is saying, somewhere over the rainbow, remember what has brought you through in the past when similar fears have come up. So when the similar fear has come up of losing a job, what has brought that up? Some form of discrimination, some form of not a lack of appreciation of what you do, some form of miscommunication. What has been the pattern? Fears are patterns usually. Look at the pattern, because your outcome here is acknowledgement. And you're going to, through this lunar cycle, from balsamic moon to balsamic moon, you're going to get downloads enhancingly stronger about your integrity and about telling yourself the truth so that you can strengthen your selfhood. The acknowledgement card is about downloading issues of abandonment and abuse that you feel repetitively, these patterns. Because the one God, one law says that we are all connected and we all feel what one feels, we all feel. What one experiences, we all experience. And so in identifying our own fears and asking it what it's trying to say and what it means, we can see where that fear exists in others. Usually there's a yin and a yang. There's a reciprocal situation that's going on. There's a yin and a yang. If I'm fearful that I'm not being appreciated, then the person that I'm probably being fearful of expressing myself to might be feeling that way as well. So maybe how I need to communicate my truth in this situation is in a way that I express it with appreciation for them. Giving what we want to have is a very powerful way to surrender to the power of what tends to be taken away from us through fear. This is a wonderful reading for you, Pisces Moon people. Your additional astrological aspects that are governing this particular new moon are in your second quarter report. And so you want to look at that to get more clarification if you need that for the astrological aspects of both the Western emotional and the Vedic soul sign. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, and liking. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.